Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. Today let's learn how to curve some texts. We are also going to learn how to make one of these Starbucks logos. You can do this with or without this small little mermaid girl that's in the Starbucks. This would be perfect for doing your own DIY tumblers that I know people are buying, like the Starbucks tumblers, and they're creating new names or or anything like that, and you want that design that's on the outside of a cup. This is perfect for that. Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. Today let's learn how to curve some text into design space. Yes, we are going to learn how to make a Starbucks logo cup. I know a lot of crafters out there are buying Starbucks cups and they're wanting to learn how to make the outside portion of the Starbucks logo so you can wrap this around your cup, and today I'm going to teach you how to do that. So we are going to learn how to create something like this, and we're going to be able to either have just the outside circles, or we're going to do one small one with the actual mermaid in there. So first, let's just create the actual circles and then the curved text. So we're going to come over here into these shapes. We're just going to click the shapes and we're just going to insert a circle. We're going to make this any size we want. I'm going to make it just big just so we can see what we're doing here. And we're going to change this over into a green because Starbucks logo is green. Clicking that one green circle, and we're going to duplicate it. Now Craft Room Cricut Design Space has like keyboard shortcuts, which is amazing. So Command D, or you can also right click and then this will pop up and that's just duplicate. And we're going to make this just a little bit smaller. And we're going to drag it up here. And this is just where you eyeball it. I don't actually have any type of measurements. I just kind of eyeball it to see how big we would want this to be. And then select both of those and do a line and then press center, and that just centers it. Here, let's change this color just a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's easier to see. If this right here is the border size that you would like, then you can stop right here. If it's not and you would like a thicker border or a thinner border, then obviously you're gonna need to make it a little bit smaller. But if you like the way this looks, we're going to select both of those and then come down here and press slice, or you can right click and press slice. Okay, we'll move this and then move this. And now you have that outside edge, this outside edge right here. Okay, so now we want to create this smaller portion that's right here. So taking, which one is it? Is it this one? Oh, I guess it really doesn't matter. We're just going to make this a little bit smaller. So we're going to make this one a little bit smaller. Selecting both. And then align and then center. Oh, and see how it's not as small. Like I would like this portion right here to be a little bit smaller. So we're going to take that. We're going to make it just a little bit smaller. Select all. And then center. I think that's a good size. I like that size. All right, now we're going to then click that inside green circle and we're going to Command D or duplicate. And then let's just change this over into pink because that'll make it easier for us to see. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Not a little bit, a lot of bit smaller. That doesn't seem like it's going to be big enough. So we're just going to make this a little bit smaller. All right, maybe that's it. So we're going to select all, align and center. That seems like a good size. Now, you can resize this. You can keep resizing this and eyeballing it. If you were doing a Starbucks cup, like an actual cup, and you had the cup on hand, you could take like a paper measuring tape, like one of those fabric measuring tapes. Whoa, excuse me. Sorry. You can take one of those fabric measuring tapes and you can measure out this inner circle right here. And then that would be your actual circle that you would make it. And then you could readjust all the other sizes too if you had one of those. If not, just eyeballing it for right now and then resizing it later can be helpful as well. So we're going to select all, and I don't remember if I centered it, so we'll center it. I did. that looks to be a good size to me. So we're going to select this one pink circle, press shift on your keyboard, and then that bigger circle, not the very biggest one, but the next biggest one, and press slice. And then we're going to move that and that. So now you're left with the outside circle, this one ring and then this one. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So all we need to do is now delete these. We don't need those any longer. Now into the fun part. See this right here, these stars that are iconic for the Starbucks logo. You can add those in. I have seen people that, you know, for Halloween, they put pumpkins or like Christmas trees for Christmas. You can insert whatever it is that you would like for these little shapes right here. I'm going to be using the stars just because that's what we're doing, is this particular logo. So I'm going to insert a star. And I'm just going to resize this into the shape that I would, or the size that I would like. And we're going to just change this over into white so it's easier to see. And then we're going to duplicate that. And we're going to move this over. And now selecting both, so shift and select both. And then also that one ring, we are going to align it into the center. Now this star and this star is the same height, but it also is aligned to the actual circles itself, which is perfect. That's what we're wanting. Now for this one that I created a long time ago, it looks like the stars are not centered. So maybe that's how it is for an actual Starbucks logo. I don't know, but I personally like it to be direct in the center of where it needs to be. All right, so for the Starbucks logo font, whenever you curve text, always curve in a capital letter and actually have it not like a cursive letter. They need to be block letters like this. Curving text with a with lowercase or with cursive letters, it just looks really weird and it does not look good in my opinion. So I always prefer capital letters. It just works and it's more legible that way. So insert a text box and you can put whatever name you want. I'm going to put my name because that's the easiest that I can do. And I'm going to drag this up just a little bit. Now, the font for the Starbucks logo, I don't know what the exact font is, but I always use Santana. So come up here. What happened? Click that and then come up here to font in your text box. Click that. Now go over into system. This is going to be a downloaded font. This is not a Cricut font. So you are going to have to download it. I will try and find it, and if I do, it'll be in the link of the description of this video so you can download it yourself. And then we're just going to search up Santana. And we'll do Santana Black. And that, my friends, is what looks like the Starbucks logo. The Starbucks logo font. Okay, resize this to where it's going to be in the middle of this screen and this screen. If it's too big, it will look really weird and it won't look good because you're going to cut into that green. So we're just going to make this a little bit smaller and that looks pretty good. Okay, now here's the deal with curving text in Design Space. It is not perfect. I prefer actually to do the curved text in a free program called Inkscape. It's what I use for laser files and then for curving texts in Design Space because I just don't like the way this feature works. It is doable, and if you don't want to download Inkscape, then that's fine. I'm going to show you how to readjust everything here in a second. It's a little bit more time consuming than it is just to figure out how to curve text in Inkscape and save it as an SVG, but still doable. So with this text box highlighted, I'm going to change this over into white so it's easier for us to see, and then come over here into the curve button, and you can take this little arrow or this little dot, and we're going to drag this up and see how it's starting to move just a little bit. All right, there we go. And the reason why that I don't really care for the way that Design Space works for the curve feature is see how this H is like far apart, but this for the L is not. And it's the same, like the spacing is off. And that's how it's always been in Design Space. I don't know if that's something that they ever plan on finishing, but I feel like over here, this A and this S is like super close. This S and this H is far apart. It's just not like an even distributed amount. And there's nothing you can do to fix that outside of manually fixing it, which that's what we'll do here in a second. If your letters become too spaced out, then you can come over here and do like the letter spacing. But when I do that, you see how like this AS is like super close together and this HL is like still far apart. That's the reason why I don't really like doing the curved text in the Design Space feature. Again, possible, just don't really care to do it. Okay, so now that you have your text curved the way you want to, and this is what I like for the curve, and I will show you what number I use, the 3.151. That's what I like for my curve amount for the Starbucks logos. Now what you want to do is you want to select that text box, and we're going to duplicate it. So Command D, and then we're going to make this coffee. So double click that and just put coffee. Now it's still going to be in the plus, right? Still going to go this way. So click that box again, or nope, not that one. This one right here. And instead of it being 3.151, click in front of that and just press that minus key and press enter. And now it went backwards and now you're wrapping in front. And see how like now right here and this is not evened out? Go back into curve and we're just going to curve this. Now in Inkscape, you wouldn't have to do this. It would be like a direct, if you moved it, it would be perfect. But for some reason, again, in Inkscape or in Design Space, it's not like that. And we're just going to readjust that. Now, if you wanted to, you could stop here. And you don't have to do any more adjustments. If you like it the way it is, then you can stop right here. I zoomed in just so I can show you. You see how this C and this O seems to be really far apart, but these E's aren't? That's kind of what I'm talking about with there being like a little bit of a hiccup when it comes to Design Space. So by clicking this text box, now what you want to do is just come up here to ungroup, and that is going to make everything its own text. And I can go in and I can readjust these, just so they just look like they belong with each other. And this is going to take a little bit more finesse around certain objects, but like we just want to make it to where it looks like it's all evenly spaced and it's supposed to be where it needs to be. Let's move the L just over just a little bit, and the A, or I'm sorry, the S. There we go. Okay, now that you've wiggled around just a hair, and I mean, we're splitting hairs here, right? This C, we only drug in just a little bit. Let's see, we're going to select all of these right here. Okay, now this E is a little bit higher than this C. So now when you're looking at it, it's almost like it's leaning to the right a little bit. So let's like just a little bit. I mean, again, splitting hairs. You probably could not tell if I didn't point it out, but since I've been doing this for so many years, sometimes I can just like see right away. There we go. Looks just a little bit off still. A little bit more. All right, there we go. Now that you got it readjusted, just press weld. Same thing with this. We're going to go back up and we're going to select all of the name. And we're going to readjust it. We're going to just turn it because the A is lower than the S. So we're just going to curve it just a little bit to where it all kind of matches up. Oops, I clicked out of it, darn it. All right, going back and we're selecting all. And then when you have it the where you would like it, just press weld again. Now that when you're done doing that, we're going to select all of these. So your two welded names and then your stars, press weld again. And then come up here and select your lettering that you just welded and the stars, and then press shift and press that one donut, that green donut, and then we want to press slice. Okay, we're going to delete everything but that donut that now has our sliced name or sliced name and coffee in there. Okay, if you wanted to, you could stop. If you were going to put this on like a Starbucks cup that already has the logo on there, you could stop what you're doing and leave it the way it is. Well, actually, before we do that, we want to select it all and press attach. And then you can go into the make it screen and you can cut this just the way it looks. Right here, we can go into make. And this is the one we just created. And that does not have the Starbucks logo girl in it. We'll press back. Now, if you did not attach, we'll just go back to what it was before where it was not attached, but they're two separate objects, right? If you did not attach this and went into make it, now what you'd be left with is two separate circles. That is not what you want, because then you're going to have to position everything perfect again. And that's not what you want because it's already positioned perfectly here. So that's why you want to attach it. Now, if you want to insert this girl into your file right here, what you need to do is go up into Safari and just search up Starbucks PNG, Starbucks logo, or anything. Going back over here, and you just want to find one that has good resolution. This one was really good. It's 1080 resolution. The one to the very left, while it looks good, do you see that resolution's at 480? And then this one is 1000. That's a lot better. The higher resolution, the better the scan will be. So we're going to right click on that and do open image in new tab. And oops. What you want to do is you want to screenshot this. On the Mac, it is Command Shift 4, and this like little arrow tool will pop up. And just going to drag this, and we're just going to take a screenshot. This is going to pop up right here. Go back into design space and over here to upload, and then upload image. Drag in your screenshot and then press complex. Press continue. You can do this, remove background. That is just going to take all that white away. There we go. So all that white's away, and then you're left with some green and some black, which is fine. But I only want the black, right? Because we just created a logo. We don't need that. We don't need everything else. So I'm just going to go into erase. I'm going to make this really big because I have a lot to delete. And I am just going to delete everything but that black mermaid that I'm wanting. Is it a mermaid? I'm pretty sure Starbucks is a mermaid. Oops. See how my mouse just went a little bit? Just come up here to the undo button and then we'll start all over. So you definitely want to make sure that you don't delete or erase anything that you're wanting to keep. So I want to keep all that black. So just going around and doing the green portion. Oh, just deleted just a little bit. So go back. Okay, go into preview cut just to see. Look, we just have a little bit right here. So make sure you want to delete that, but everything else looks good. So then just press apply and continue. And you could save this as a print and cut image if you want to, but I don't want to. I'm going to save that as a cut image, and I'm going to rename this Starbucks. Starbucks. Okay, and then just press upload. And then click that one upload that we just did and press add to canvas. And here it is right here. And actually, look, we missed a little piece right there. I could already see it. So press contour and come up here and just click that small little area. Yep, that's all we had. Alrighty, and then we're just going to readjust this and make this smaller. And we're going to fit it into the green circle, just like that. Look at how perfect it looks. Wow! There we go. Okay, now if you want it to be completely centered, just click that girl and then one of your outer green circles, and then press align and then center. And that's going to be completely centered and perfectly proportioned. So now what you want to do is select all and press attach. And there is your finished Starbucks logo right there. So you can just delete the original one that I had created, press make, and that's it. You can just readjust the size and you can keep on keeping on with your crafting. All right, y'all, I sure hope that I have inspired you to make, and I will see you later.